The internet is truly a magical creation. It works as a tool to help you discover so much about the world. You can find music from your favorite artists. Maybe you found a new game to play with friends. You could even commission some new art from Twitter and show it to your friends and family. What I'm saying is that with the internet, you're able to find almost anything you can possibly dream of. Provided you're not from China, do not ask about what happened in Tiananmen Square. Now, obviously, with the internet being as popular as it is, with billions of people using it every single day, I don't think it comes to anybody's surprise that much like real life, there are tons of communities of people, groups of people who have a common shared interest. And this is where things can get a little bit messy. These groups obviously can be very different from each other in very significant ways. On one side, you can have a small, joyful community of people who love to support one another and bond about something they love, like Hello Kitty Island Adventure, while on the other side, you have a small group of people who also love to support one another and bond about something they love, like a historical figure from the 1940s. Now, believe it or not, even the peaceful communities have some fans in them that turn out to be rather peculiar. They turn out to be absolute degenerates. And I think one of the perfect examples for this could be My Little Pony. Now, when you sit down and close your eyes, think about My Little Pony. Tell me, what's the first thing that you think of? Maybe it's the silly nature of the characters Twilight Sparkle and Rainbow Dash. Maybe it's the sentiment of the show, being friendship is magic. Or maybe, just maybe, you think, yeah, if you know exactly what this image is, even with the heavy blur, you are just as traumatized as I am. The show originally released in 2011 with the intent to be a TV show for kids, and to a certain extent it was. However, an unexpected demographic started to gravitate towards the franchise. Grown-ass men. These people referred to themselves online as bronies. These people had a large obsession with the show, and they made it their entire personality. A show that was, at the end of the day, intended for children. A common sentiment that I've seen shared online is that kids would ask a question about My Little Pony or draw fan art themselves, and these grown-ass stinky dudes would start scolding and getting angry at the kids for not knowing the proper lore. Like, imagine you're 7 years old and curious about how all the ponies met, and some 36-year-old man starts lecturing you for not being educated. A good example to further display the degeneracy of certain bronies is the weird obsession with making almost every form of My Little Pony media NSFW. I don't really know what the fixation is on turning these cartoons into sexual art, and honestly, I don't really want to know. It really didn't take a long time after the show's release for images to first show up on websites like Rule 34 and 4chan, the literal cesspools of the internet. Then, eventually, it spread to the rest of the internet. This type of content was almost everywhere when you searched up My Little Pony. It was pretty much inescapable. Like, what if I want to buy a My Little Pony balloon for my daughter's birthday in the future? My Little Pony balloon. Okay, nope, not that. How about My Little Pony inflated? Oh, for fuck's sake. Twilight Sparkle big belly inflatable balloon with smellable farts. God damn. Obviously, Gen Z is one of the first generations to grow up with the internet, and you see where I'm going here? Yeah, that's right. Even during my time, I seen some seriously dark stuff. Now, bronies also loved to write fanfic about their wondrous fantasies. Of course, keeping up the tradition of being extremely in the mood. Now, because I don't want to read any of these, they're disgusting, I got my significantly less talented associate Nick to read the fanfic for me. My Little Pony. Friendship is Sexy. Chapter 1. Sat on her bed. Very. Are we fucking serious? This is the first sentence. We didn't even make it 10 words without something being said. Now, this niche of fan fiction isn't the only thing that exists. There are, of course, fan fictions that contain some of the most graphic and disgusting content I've ever read. This is by no means an exaggeration. I've never physically felt disgusted reading something until I read this. There is a fanfiction by the name of The Sweet Apple Massacre. The 5-page story is about a character brutally torturing another, and that is actually as far as I can go. At least without getting my channel nuked. Nuke. CSGO. Gaming. I don't really know how to transition to the next. Now, I feel that it would be a crime if we didn't talk about gamers in this video. And I'm not by any means talking about someone who every now and then throws a little bit of Minecraft on to de-stress, you know, play Overwatch to stare at Mercy's feet. Brother, me and you are the same person. When I was younger, I would spend my time playing video games like Undertale, Fortnite, Call of Duty, and for some reason, I subjected myself through League of Legends. Now, all of these games, right, every single one of them I mentioned, have a pretty bad community. Voice crack. League of Legends players get angry at everything and are racist. Fortnite fans are annoying and like 8 years old and racist. Undertale is filled with weirdos and racists. And Call of Duty is filled with people who better belong in the 1950s. And right now, despite what you may think, you know, me being a teenager and playing Call of Duty and having a short temper, I feel that I need to clarify that I was never part of a certain group of toxic gamers. You know, the ones that drop... Yeah. Dealing with these types of people are insufferable. In fact, dealing with almost any type of gamer online is probably one of the worst things that you can ever do to your health. Like, why the is it that every single time you call them out for just blatantly being an asshole, these guys say, you wouldn't last a minute inside Call of Duty lobbies? What does that have to do with anything? How is that any different from punching somebody in the dick and then saying, you wouldn't last a minute in the World Trade Center? What the fuck? Also, gamers are dirty. They stink. As a former aggressive gamer myself, I can speak about this because, you know, at the age of 13, I was smelling bad. You see, eventually the 3 days worth of Cheeto dust and sweat start to accumulate into its own distinct odor. Yeah, my bad. It's more than a toxic odor. We create natural gas. You enter my bedroom with a lighter, the whole house is going up in flames, man. I would keep my setup, you know, relatively dirty, and at the time, I thought that I had it the worst, and then I went online and searched up dirty setups, and my whole world flipped upside down. These setups that I'm flashing on screen are real. I don't know how they're not staged. This is not at all a topic that's new on this channel. I mean, I've talked about it a lot, but it's like an itch. I have to talk about it again. What the fuck is the deal with people on Twitter promoting their content every chance that they get? I swear, I can't go on this platform for longer than 5 seconds without being immediately bombarded with somebody spreading their shit like it's in a gymnastic competition. Maybe that just says something about my algorithm. I'm not really sure. Let's go get that guy over there. Hey, you! Oh, are you talking to me? Yes, of course I'm talking to you. Oh, hello there. Are you tired of shitty energy drinks that are probably horrible for your health? Yeah, they give me kidney stones. It really hurts. That's really gross. But allow me to introduce you to Gamer Subs. It is a cheaper and a healthier alternative to energy drinks and soda, so that means no more kidney stones. How can that be possible, though? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's because it's 0 sugar, 0 carbs, less than 1 calorie, which then means that it's keto-friendly and diabetic safe. Well, you already got me hooked. Oh, you will be once you try it. Now shut up and let me finish. Let's say you're somebody like me who doesn't like to be caffeinated 100% of the time. Lucky for you, they also have a caffeine-free line just for you to enjoy the flavor. And they got some really good ones. My favorite currently being lean. Not only because it tastes fantastic, but also because it makes me feel like a SoundCloud rapper. If you use my link, you get 10% off your order. Come on! If you want to try it out, click the link in the description to get 10% off. Thank you to our good friends over at Gamer Subs. We love you. And now, back to the video. Either way, this type of content is completely unavoidable. It genuinely does not matter what side of the internet you're on. Now, I'm gonna say something bold here. I don't think it's a great thing that it's so easily accessible. You know, the obvious common argument is that people who aren't old enough to be consuming this type of stuff are gonna see it, and that is something completely valid. However, I want to talk about something that I haven't seen brought up too much. It's just fucking annoying. Like, why do you think that spamming and promoting your OF everywhere is going to make people actually want to flock over to it? The main ringleader for this entire community right now is a woman by the name of Bonnie Blue. Look at these eyes. They are staring deep into my very existence. You cannot convince me that she isn't a lab experiment sent to work as a study on the depravity of certain men. It seems that Bonnie Blue's entire world revolves around Wiener. And listen, I'm by no means saying there is absolutely anything wrong with that. In fact, I kind of relate. I love Wiener. But the way that she does it, it just seems so wrong. For example, one of her first stunts was that she went to a university in Nottingham. Nottingham. And she continued to advertise herself with a sign that read, "Bonk me for free. Let me film it." On top of that, she's also gone on the record implying that she's into this entire barely legal stuff. However, nothing beats this. She currently holds the record for engaging in activities with the most men in 24 hours. And it was over 1,000 people. 1,000 people. That's an entire concert hall. I pray that every dude who went to this event got tested for something, because I'm 99.9% sure they must have created some whole new virus in that room. Of course, I'm not gonna act like Bonnie Blue is the only person doing things like this. Well, I mean, she's the only one engaging with 1,000 dudes, but there's other people doing stuff too. There's the Bop House, but I've already made 2 videos about that. You can check them out if you want. But yeah, honestly, at the end of the day, just because you're a part of any of these communities doesn't inherently make you one of these people. Literally every single group ever in the world has bad eggs. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know if you want to see more or if you want to see a part 2. Make sure to follow my Twitter, my Twitch, and my Instagram. I am super active on all of those. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.
I think we could do it if we tried. If only to say you're mine. Sophia, know that you and I shouldn't feel like a crime.